Hey y'all, and welcome to Tarot with BJ. I'm BJ, and welcome to my channel. So for this one, we're going to be getting into what blessings are in store for you in 2026. We're going to go ahead and get right into it, but before we do, just a quick disclaimer that all readings on this channel are general, so they may not resonate with everyone. Just take what resonates and leave what does not. And if your pile does not fit, it's not resonating for you, maybe try another pile. That still doesn't work, maybe try another pile. If that doesn't work, maybe try another reading on my channel. And if that doesn't work, maybe try another reader. Because there are a bunch of great readers on YouTube. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Timestamps are below, and I will see you at your pile. Hey, pile one, and welcome to your reading. So we're going to be looking at what blessings are in store for you in 2026. So let's go ahead and get into it. Spirit, what blessings are in store for pile one in 2026? All right, so the first combo we've got here, we've got the Eight of Cups and we've got the Eight of Wands. So the Eight of Cups, this talks about taking a journey. You see this person here in the card walking away. Looks like he's walking away from maybe a party or something like that. But walking away from something, contemplating something. It's giving like when the main character of a movie goes off on a walk and you're hearing their inner monologue type thing. This is the Tinseltown Tarot. So very fitting. But yes, going on some type of journey. So maybe some of you will be going on a trip, maybe moving, something like that. And like Eight of Cups with this Eight of Wands here, this is about movement, fast movement. So maybe y'all will be fast walking somewhere. I don't know, but it's definitely giving movement of some sort. Again, this could be y'all moving somewhere. This could be y'all getting more active. I could see that, maybe walking more. This could also be, I could just definitely see this also as like a more contemplative energy. So maybe you're contemplating things more and letting inspiration come to you on as you contemplate things. Maybe this is like walking meditation. I'm thinking about forest bathing, that concept. I believe it's a Japanese concept where you're basically bathing yourself in nature in order to, I guess, kind of replenish yourself from the hustle and bustle of the world in a way. I could see that. Just a lot of different things for depending on who is watching this, but movement of some sort. Maybe in 2025 you felt like you were stuck, and maybe this blessing that's in store for you in 2026 is this idea that you're finally getting moving again. And then with this Lover here, this says great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. So maybe as you get moving again, you find something that you love, or you're getting back into something that you love, like as you move forward. I definitely think that 2025 was a challenging year for us all. And maybe y'all, again, got kind of stuck in the mud in some type of way. And like, this is a sign that things will be moving forward for you for sure. Definitely, I see that because the next combo here we have is, sheesh, the Six of Wands. And this typically depicts like a victory parade. So, and that signals moving forward. Again, another movement card, moving forward in some type of way. But I have so many different decks and I'm trying to use the symbolism on like the deck that I'm using. So with this one, it's like this person knows that they are victorious. It's like the accolades are all of these different lipsticks, which I'm taking to mean like different like trophies or something like that in the back. And it's like they've been victorious, and that's why she's all dressed up. It's like she's a movie star, Tinseltown. A movie star looking at herself. She knows that she's the ish, essentially. and she's like above it all. Um, and I think that with the moon card here, it's just giving this idea to me that you are over something. Maybe I just feel like this moon card is kind of a past energy. The moon can talk about going very deep within the self to uncover what is hidden. This could be unconscious things, this could be secrets, those type of things, stuff that we may not want to deal with. And it's like, if you want to add these pictures up, even like with the 6 of Wands, the typical 6 of Wands, it's kind of like this, where the horse is moving sideways, and even her, she's like situated sideways, so it's like it's not like she's going back here, it's like she is in the middle of this, looking at her reflection. And that's also what the moon can talk about, is like really seeing what's in the mirror, and it feels like you've done that in possibly 2025 and before. I mean, it's not to say that you won't continue to do that, because we continue to learn about ourselves and all that type of stuff as we learn, as we grow in life. But it just seems like a level of, you've done that and therefore you're moving forward, if that makes sense. What it's really giving is like victory over the self, you know? You've done the deep work, and it's like you're again, you're ready to move forward in some type of way. This 8 of Wands and the 6 of Wands, those can cross to create 14, and that would reduce to 5, so the 5 of Wands. Um, and then the 5 of Wands, that has to do with, competition, um, leveling up in some type of way. That has to do with the 8 of Cups and the moon, you know? And it's like it feels like you're going in a different direction. Again, I'm going to use like the actual symbolism. It's like this person is not walking this path. It's like they're taking another path, like a path going this way, like the road less traveled, or a road that you haven't traveled before. Again, going back to travel, it could be somewhere you've never been for some of you, or taking a route in life that you haven't gone before. I think 2026 is going to bless you with this ability to, well, one, see things in a different way, but see things in a different way so you can take routes that you have never gone before, like with a sense of fearlessness. It's like you're walking in the dark. Both of these signify darkness. Walking in the dark without fear, and like with that 5 of Wands in between, it's like, knowing how to fend off whatever comes your way as you walk through the darkness, as you walk through this new path, as you walk through something that maybe that you love, or as you walk through and find something that you love. Um as I was saying, walk through, that song, what's that? I think it's called Walk Through by Rich Homie Quan. I be feeling like the man when I walk through. So maybe it's like you feeling like the man when you walk through something, like you have this level of confidence within the self, and you're bringing that into the new year. Let me show you the 6 of Wands. The typical. I know I said I was gonna go with the symbolism there, but just to show you, you know, this person is likely feeling like the man when they ride through, because this has to do with victory, success, coming back, and people giving you your flowers, essentially giving you your flowers. So feeling like the man when you walk through, that type of thing. Um, but then we have Mother here. This says nurturance, patience, unconditional love, joy in giving birth to life. Um, this could be like this road less traveled, this path that you're taking. This could be you birthing something new into this world. It doesn't necessarily have to be a child, but it could be a creative project, a business, a relationship, I don't know, anything. It could be birthing anything. But I do think some of you will be bringing in a child this year, or maybe somebody who's bringing in a child. It could be, I don't know, your sister or your friend or something like that. Somebody having children this year. But it really does feel like for the bulk of you, like you're bringing something in that you love. Like you're walking this path through the dark in order to birth something. I mean, like if you want to talk like literal birthing symbolism, a baby is in the womb in the darkness for 9 months developing, and then they come out into the light, you know? So it's like you what is that called? Is that called the gestation period? I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it's called. And that's what it feels like you're going through, in order to birth this thing that you love. But it may take some darkness to get to the light. Also, if you look at these two pictures here, they're both holding something tightly, holding on to something tightly. So maybe this is something that you're bringing in that you just really hold dear, and it's that you have to like nurture it for a while. Like if we're talking like this whole year, and this could be quarters of the year, you nurture this for the first 6 months, and then maybe you're ready to actually birth it in the later half of the year. I could definitely see that because death talks about, death and rebirth. So that could be like the second half of the year you are pushing something out into the world, you know? We got the 7 of Pentacles and the Death card. This talks about patience, hard work, putting really a lot of effort into something. Again, it goes along with what I'm saying about birthing something. Like it's like you're doing the work, all of that in the early half of the year, and getting ready to birth this thing in the later half. You've waited like patiently, you've done the work, you've I don't know, you've just tended to your garden. You fed the baby like nutrients, you've taken the prenatals and all that type of stuff, and keep going with the baby symbolism, but it keeps coming up. But again, it's just like the Death card, you're getting ready to birth something after being in the dark, like I keep talking about, in the dark for a while. Interestingly, the moon here, these two pillars that are in the back are also here in the back of the Death card. And like I keep saying, excuse me, this is about night. These two cards are about night, and it's like a new dawn is coming. Like here the moon is out, but here the sun is rising. So it's like again birthing something in the later half of the year. Then we have the one card beneath these two, the 7 of Pentacles and the Death card. I'm going to read this from the guidebook. It says, our ability to experience this archetype firsthand is limited. It comes in brief and potent moments that we are left to savor for a lifetime. The one is both the energy that unites all living beings and our capacity to sense this intimate union. This archetype eludes us most of our lives, appearing as a concept in a distant galaxy. Yet, when we are in the midst of its power, a solemn reverence falls across the land. We glimpse ourselves in the vastness of all consciousness and are neither small nor large within that field. We are neither important nor unimportant. All duality fades away, and we are left with what is. The precious knowing that life is a gift, and we are both the giver and the receiver of this fortune. But interestingly, before I get into like decoding that, this looks like a little egg. Like I keep saying. But with the one being there, it's like maybe through this thing that you are doing, this thing that you're birthing into existence in 2026, it gives you that sense of non-duality that the guidebook talks about. It just feels like a very important moment in time in your life, if I'm being honest. People also call this force, this one love force, love. And here we have the lover coming out first. I really feel like it's going to be a big sense of oneness with the universe that you get from birthing this project that you love. Um, this reminds me a lot of Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I've been watching it and I took some notes. Don't laugh at me, but there's some really good quotes in there. um, but there's one part where Jobu Tupaki is explaining to Evelyn why she created the donut. And she says, not a single moment will go by without every universe screaming for your attention. Never fully there, just a lifetime of fractured moments, contradictions, and confusion, and only a few specks of time where anything actually makes any sense. And this is because in the Alphaverse, Evelyn essentially broke um, Jobu Tapaki or Joy's mind. And so she experiences everything everywhere all at once, all the time. And so, and she's even talking about this, there's only those small specks of time where we experience things making sense. And it really feels like in 2026, y'all will be experiencing a speck of that. And that is a big thing because there's a part near the end of the movie where Evelyn basically is like, so what if nothing matters? I'm just going to cherish those small specks of time that I do get where things actually do make sense. And I want to do this with you, my daughter, essentially. Love that movie, but I would go watch that if you haven't already. But, and also, I guess if you want to get kind of technical, we talk about death, the card being the cycles of birth and death, things growing and things decaying. And it's like that constant cycle. But there's something in between, a small speck of something in between birth and death. And I think that's what this one is referring to. That small speck of something where it makes sense. So that small speck of something where you have that breakthrough, that like a really powerful moment in time that really needs to be celebrated. And I think that's also why we have the moon here. Because this is something I think really deep that you're going to cherish for a long time. Um, it just feels very big, honestly, and I'm pretty excited to see like what this thing is. I hope some of you come back to this reading and say what this thing is for you because this this is like it feels like a once in a lifetime or maybe like 4, 5, 6 times in a lifetime type of deal. Something very big that's coming from deep within inside the self that is birthing and giving you this massive blessing of love, of connectedness, of unity, of oneness with the universe, through whatever medium is, specific to whoever is watching this. It also feels like it could be something that you have been waiting for a while. Again, with this Seven of Pentacles being about patience and, it doesn't necessarily have to be just the first half of the year where you've kind of been planning and working towards this. It could have been a lot um further back in time. Maybe it was only an idea then, but now it's finally like coming to fruition and you're going to get that moment where it's like this is the culminating moment where it all makes sense and you're able to see the progression of it from a seed to the birth. And then finally, we have the Emperor and the Seven of Cups. Um, hmm. The Emperor talks about power, control, um, exerting yourself in the world. This is depicted, and this card specifically is being depicted by a director, like a movie director. And it feels like maybe you'll get to this place where you finally feel like you're directing your life in the way that you want to. Um, and with it being clarified by the Seven of Cups is about choice. And it feels like with the Emperor being the first card, that you know what choice to make. It feels like a level of confusion is lifting. The moon also can talk about confusion. And I don't know, just with this, the Six of Wands and the Emperor being the other cards amidst these, it feels like you've got a handle on things that maybe have tripped you up in the past that clouded your vision. I am hearing, I can see clearly now the rain has gone. Getting a lot of channeled songs and movies and stuff in this. I guess that's the power of, the Tinseltown deck. Gotta use that more often, but definitely feels like you're able to see through the BS. And it's like the director of a movie, he's the one calling the shots. Like whatever he says goes. So it's like it may be like other people are trying to, get in his way, get in her way, whoever's watching this, their way, but they're able to see through the BS and pick whichever option is best for them, you know? And then we have two sevens. Two sevens is news that has to do with death and the Emperor. Death and the Emperor together gives me like a strong sense of you being able to like call shots in your life, but like in terms of like, how do I say, like in a more outward way. Like maybe internally you've been like that. You've been able to call shots within yourself, whatever. But it's like it's like a noticeable change within you. Like, and that's the news that's being like broadcasted. And it's like this what do you call this? A megaphone within the Emperor's hand. It's like you broadcasting this news to the world with it. Maybe it's with this thing that you are birthing. Maybe y'all are birthing a movie. I don't know. It could be that. Could definitely be a creative project like I was talking about earlier. But it feels like you announcing this thing to the world. Maybe this is not like official, like, oh, you getting on Facebook or whatever, like, hey guys, like I'm doing this. Um, it doesn't have to be that, but it feels like an energy where you're coming out with it, and like it's bold, it's powerful, it's forceful, but not like in a bad way. It's like it's just giving that Emperor energy where it's like, boom, this is what it is. The Emperor exudes power because he knows he's at the top, and that's what it feels like with you. You're at the top of your game, whatever. And maybe you are announcing this news to your village. I'm going to go ahead and read that one as well. And this says, the village. The village presents us with a conundrum. On one hand, it's the place that feels most like home, the place to which you can always return. Nostalgia and comfort draw us back. On the other hand, it's the very place you must leave in order to grow. Around the village, an unspoken boundary exists, one most villagers do not want you to cross. Though some support your leaving, still you hear whispers of doubt as you venture beyond its borders, leaving them behind. The energy of their village is present anytime we feel restricted by a certain group, community, family, place, or ideology. It may have served us in the past, yet staying within its parameters, we will never satiate our thirst for life. Thank the village for all it has provided, knowing you will someday return. For now, the world awaits. It's giving that that movement energy that I talked about earlier in the reading. But maybe this is an announcement to your village that, you have transformed. Like I said, it's not necessarily a forceful energy, or where you're just announcing like, "Hey guys, like this is me now," type of thing. Like it could just be the power of your presence and the change that you have undergone as you have walked through the darkness, as you have gone and become one with oneness. You know what I mean? And it's like a need to separate oneself, like the card said, but like knowing how to do that. Like I said, like the emperor is like, it knows what's best for itself or themselves, whoever, um and knows how to wade through those clouds. So it's like a blessing of discernment, a blessing of power, a blessing of knowing that you can traverse the dark on your own. Like there's a lot of energy of darkness in this reading, but also like knowing your way through that. And that's like super powerful. So definitely think that y'all are coming into a big sense of power here. And just again, like this said about boundaries, like there's a boundary that the villagers don't want you to cross. And like I was saying with this, um the moon card, it's like you're going the road less traveled. You're getting out of that boundary that maybe people have set for you, um and taking your own road, taking the road less traveled, that sort of thing. Feeling like the man when you walk through that path that leads you to who knows, you know, it leads you to the other side. And I guess if you want to get technical, she's looking at herself, yes, but her direction is towards the new day, you know? So I definitely think that y'all are just being blessed with this sense of love and appreciation for whatever it is you're going to be working on this year. And you're going to be blessed with that speck of oneness with the universe, that speck of hope that everything makes sense, that fleeting sense of hope. Even if it is fleeting, I feel like this is going to be a year for the books for you, and really knowing how to access the light is what I'm hearing as well. So on the backs of the decks, we have one, the Empress, two, the Queen of Wands, three, the Queen, and four, the Guide. Like what did I keep saying about the mother and the one and the egg and birthing something? I mean, the Empress, usually she's depicted as pregnant, you know, so birthing something once again, feeling comfortable, that could be also something that you'll be blessed with. Comfort, beauty, um creativity. Also, Queen of Wands, this queen, I mean, if we want to get, you know symbolic here, the reason that she has her legs parted is because she's open to, her sexuality is open. The sexuality suit is the wand suit. So, I mean, that could be another blessing. I definitely think someone around you is having like a child though, for real. But in terms of you, this could be sexual energy, exploring that. Lover, it could be a relationship where you're exploring that. Um, but just feeling very, this pile gives a lot of feminine energy. Lots of feminine energy. Because I mean the moon, feminine, the empress, feminine, lover, feminine, mother, feminine, this feminine, the queen. I mean, all of this feminine energy. You got also the empress and the emperor. Remember, like the emperor is probably one of the only strong masculine cards here. And even this card here, like all this pink and orange gives femininity. But even if you are male, like This could be a year of receiving. Feminine energy is receiving. It's soft. It's intuitive. That could also be something. Your heightened intuition this year. Heightened intuition. Heightened sense of oneness in relationships also. I could see that as well. I'm also hearing like getting what you want. I feel like the Empress gets what she wants. The Queen of Wands gets what she wants. The Queen, whoever this is, whatever queen this is, gets what she wants. You know what I mean? This could be a year where you get it. You are getting what you want. Because you have walked through the dark to get there. Also, like with these cards here, this is a lot of light. You see like it's very colorful light. You know, and then finally, with guide, this says represents the nature of the divine in life and yourself. I mean, that definitely goes along with the one here, that also speaks to the divine. And because maybe you've gone through this darkness and you've taken the road less traveled and you've gotten this glimmer of what it all means, like it's all making sense, that you're able to help others with the same thing, you know? It just feels like a level of being, I don't know how else to say it, but like being bestowed with like this crown, like activating like your crown chakra, activating the higher levels of your being, the crown. I guess that would be the crown here. um the transformation that it takes to get that, you know, the knowledge that it takes, like traveling through the underworld that it takes to get there. I guess this too. You're able to be that light, like I talked about with all these colorful cards. Light, going from dark to light. Definitely think that this is going to be a spiritual year for y'all as well, in ways that you probably didn't think it was going to be. And also, I guess, just to say this again, leaving the village, and then how I talked about travel. This could definitely be like literal travel. I can also see some of y'all like moving away from your hometown or a place that you've lived for a long time or something like that, you know? Going after what you want. That's what queen energy is, in receiving what you want. So, pile one, very powerful reading. I hope this resonated for you. If you did, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Leave me a like. Subscribe if you are feeling that. Would love to see you subscribe. But this is all I got for you. If you watched to the very end, I really appreciate you. And yeah, I will see you in the next reading. Bye. Hey, Pile 2, and welcome to your reading. So for this one, we're going to be looking at what blessings are in store for you in 2026. So let's go ahead and see. So Spirit, what blessings are in store for Pile 2 in 2026? All right, so first combo we have is the Six of Cups and the Hanged Man. And what this is giving me right off the bat is that you will have a new perspective on the past. Because the Six of Cups does talk about the past, your childhood, or it doesn't even have to be like that far in the past. But the depiction is, them at the pool, having a good time, whatever. It's supposed to signify, I guess you can say, better times. But it doesn't necessarily have to be better times, but it does signify the past. Um, and then the Hanged Man talks about a new perspective, which is why he is upside down. When you look at things from a different perspective, you can be illuminated by this new perspective. So it just, again, feels like you're seeing something differently about the past. This version here, It says maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. So I feel like it's like you're looking back to a time where you were more innocent, I guess you can say. Looking back on a time where maybe you didn't know as much as you know now. And it's like when I'm hearing like letting that perspective wash over you. And it's like birthing you anew. This virgin card, it's just giving me, I don't know, it's giving me like a nun type of energy where it's like you're abstaining from something for spiritual benefit. Not saying that y'all are nuns or something, but like the whole abstaining from something for the spiritual aspect of it. Maybe that is something that you are doing now, you're looking to do in 2026. This could be anything. This could be abstaining from, I don't know, drugs, abstaining from alcohol, abstaining from certain foods, abstaining from things that don't fit into the lifestyle or the person that you're trying to live or the person that you're trying to be. But it's just giving me like purifying yourself, in a way. And it's like, I guess, seeing yourself as you were back then, and having that help you to push yourself into a new paradigm. Symbolic purity of heart and spirit also, has to do with childhood, and that's what Six of Cups talks about. So maybe this is something that you are purifying about yourself, that this is like a long term, I want to say, I guess, problem or something that's been ailing you or something like that. And maybe in the past you have tried to look at it in different types of ways. You've tried to, I guess, like solve it in different types of ways, but I don't know, it just feels like maybe like the timing is right now for you to like move ahead with this new perspective and infuse that into your life. Um with this rebel being right here next to this virgin, it's like, how do I put this? It's like it's giving me like the trickster energy that is also within this deck. Let me find that. The trickster is about doing something that you necessarily wouldn't do. Here it is. It would have been like, this is the third card if I was pulling still. This is the fourth, so it's like literally right there. But it says transcending convention, stuffiness, and unpredictable behavior. So doing something unpredictable, because it's like you going from symbolic purity, to like this rebel energy, that it gives that unpredictableness. So it's like maybe as this thing sinks in, as this new perspective sinks in, it's like you're going from maybe something predictable to something unpredictable. Like, and I'm thinking about like behaviors, but in a good way. It's like surprising even yourself at what you're able to accomplish because of this new perspective that you've gotten on the past. If that makes sense. Um, Next combo we have is the Seven of Swords and the Knight of Wands. Seven of Swords can talk about strategy. And I think because of your perspective change, because you're becoming illuminated by something, that you have a new, like, again, the perspective, but then you're going to translate that into action. And I feel like that's what the Seven of Swords can talk about. Typically, this card will be somebody like running away from something. And even with this, it's like, I suppose he took these swords from this box here and he's trying to get away, you know? And even more so with this on top, it's like this Knight of Wands is trying to get away from something. Um, so it just feels like there is a strategy, uh, um, or you like, I don't know, it just feels like you planning something out, figuring something out. Like, this is how I want to do this. It's giving like vision board. It's giving, maybe some of y'all use Chat GPT for this, or like, I don't know, like working with a coach, maybe working with a therapist to figure out like what's the game plan type of thing. And maybe these are things that you maybe haven't tackled before. Again, with this rebel, it's like it says challenges authority to affect social change, reject spiritual systems that do not serve your inner needs. It's like, okay, I've operated in one type of way for a long time. I'm also getting that maybe it could be you're trying to break out of like the religion or the spirituality that you grew up in for some of you and trying something new that maybe fits more with your self now. But again, just like transcending in some type of way. Now, both of these talk about spiritual ways of being, and one is more pure, I guess you can say, in the eyes of society, and the other is not. But it's like going from one to the other to figure out what best works for you. I definitely could see the rebel being this Knight of Wands because the Knight of Wands would be somebody who is one, passionate, two, very, like if you look at his outfit, it literally looks like it's, his outfit is like fire. He's moving fast, he's passionate, he's focused, and that's what it feels like this rebel could be. I guess you guys are the rebel in this 2026 year where you're going for whatever it is that you want, where you're taking that initiative to take action. Um, Both of these cards signify action. So yeah, I just think that maybe it may be unconventional to you, maybe unconventional to the people around you, things like that. It just feels like you're going in a direction that helps you to uncover more about yourself. One, because this Knight of Wands is going towards the pyramids and signifying, like ancient Egypt, the pyramids of Giza, the mysteries of, ancient Egypt and the spiritual systems that flourished there. And also we have the moon right next to it, like clarifying the high priestess, and both can talk about secrets, what's underneath. So definitely feel like you're going in a direction that can help you uncover more about your, I guess, your true self, your true spiritual self. Definitely feels very spiritual for this pile, like spiritual blessings in store. And for some of you, it feels like going from one extreme to another. Whether this is like, say you grew up Christian Baptist or something like that, and you're going from that to paganism, or that from that to, I don't know, Islam, something like that. It feels like a big shift. Then moving on to the next combo, we've got the High Priestess and the Moon. So, like I'm saying about this spiritual path where you're breaking free from something, it feels like where you're awakening, you're going into something that maybe fits better with you, strategizing to find this better path for yourself, going deeper into the mysteries, that sort of thing. If there's a combo that depicts that, is this, the High Priestess and the Moon. I mean, I feel like this is one of the deepest combos that you can get when talking about going deep spiritually. The High Priestess, she is in between these pillars of light and dark because she stands within the middle of both, And even here in this card, we have the two pillars. They're not necessarily light and dark, but they're light because the scene is dark. The moon comes out at night. And then the High Priestess is also ruled by the moon. This is ruled by Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon. Um, so they're very complementary cards. It seems like early in the year, you could be, like I was talking about, you could be strategizing. It's like realization, strategy, unconventionalness, like getting, like going from one spiritual extreme to another. Doesn't have to necessarily be extreme, but going from one spiritual way to another, and then going into this deep, deep immersion in spirituality, whatever this may be for you. I don't know if this is, you're coming up. I didn't even notice this was off the page, off the screen. Sorry. um, Maybe this is a deep meditation practice, or this could be maybe you reading tarot, or this could be, you know, coming up with a prayer regimen, or maybe you're starting an altar. It could be anything, but this is really going deep. Like the high priestess, typically behind her is the waters. And it's like combining this with this, I feel like she would be like deep in these waters here. You know what I mean? Like really, like if the star and the temperance are at the edge of the water, it's like with this combo, the high priestess is getting into the water. And it's like so deep that she becomes a fish, that sort of thing. So maybe for some of y'all, it will be that maybe you're literally getting into like something to do with water. See, this person at the edge of the water, um, and then the star. Let me see the typical high priestess here. You know, if this person is at the edge of, they're at the edge of the water, the high priestess would be in the water. Um, but if you could see behind her, this is water back here. And you see like the water here. She would be really deep in there. I really feel like this is you figuring out things about yourself that you've never realized before. And it's also giving Saturn return. So I don't know if some of y'all are finishing up your Saturn return or going right into a Saturn return, because we do have Saturn going into Aries soon. But it's giving that as well, because Saturn is going to dig up those deep, deep things about ourselves. So could be that too. But I just think that this foundation that you set earlier in the year will help you in this portion of the year where you're going deeper than you probably ever gone. Um, and will, I don't know, it's like finding it. How do I even explain this? It's like finding different ways to walk this path of the moon, but you're not even walking it. Like it's like you're gliding. You know how you be watching like a magical fantasy type movie, and like some of the characters, like a wizard or a witch or like a vampire or something, they just like glide. They don't even walk. That's what the energy I'm feeling from this. It's like you're not even walking this path back here. Like you're gliding it. It's like you're flying. This could be like astral travel as well, if that resonates for some of you. And also it's just like not only that, but becoming all of these different things here. So it's like the idea is transforming yourself from this wolf here that's howling at the moon into a dog here who is more conscious of its ways of being. So it kind of goes along with what I've been saying about like strategy and more knowing and like becoming like just a lot of things that are unconscious about yourself and maybe about the world and things like that, becoming conscious and like completely altering how you move in the world, how you think about the world, that sort of thing. I've gone through something similar recently. So I definitely get this, but it's just this sense of discipline, this sense of willpower and all of that you're putting in to see things in a different light and raise your consciousness, essentially. Um, Very deep um, things going on here with this. Um, Maybe, and like I talked about mysteries, maybe you are learning some mysteries of the world in this period of your life as well. Could definitely see that, some occult knowledge, um, occult practices, all of that. And then the sustainer, I'm going to read this from the guidebook, but it says, the sustainer, the second archetype in the trio of existence, works behind the scenes tending to the tasks of life. They cultivate gardens, pay bills, keep the meals warm and the mouths sweetly fed. The sustainer is at peace in the process of life, knowing there is no start or finish to humble yet meaningful tasks. They have a natural inclination to nourish others, to achieve, to preserve Earth's resources, to consider environmental impact, to see their role in the divine cycle of life. It is common for the sustainer to become overworked, leading to resentment. Their tasks are glamorous, and therefore the sustainer can rarely receive the credit or attention. The sustainer longs to hold things in place so badly, especially relationships, that they resist necessary change. Take time with this archetype. It is within us all and needs our love. It's definitely giving Cancer, because what did I say about High Priestess? She's ruled by Cancer. So definitely giving Cancer energy. But what this is giving me is that you won't get lost in going deep within, going wherever you're going with this High Priestess in the moon, within practices, within wherever. And this is like you're doing that, but you're also like tending to daily life and things like that. So I feel like it's like you're coming to a place of balance where you can go those depths, like depths that other people can't like dream of. And you can also still sustain your life. Because look, when you're going that deep, sometimes it's easy to let other things fall to the wayside because you're learning things maybe you didn't know, you're experiencing things that you've never experienced. You are getting intimate with this part of life, the spiritual, that is so absent from our everyday ways of being that you're like, well, it becomes kind of intoxicating. So you're having a good balance, which is good. But it also says the sustainer longs to hold things in place so badly, especially relationships, that they resist necessary change. Take time with this archetype. It's within us all. I mean, there could be some of that given, I don't know, I feel like going deep also makes us cling to things because we tend to realize the impermanence of it all. We tend to realize I don't know, sometimes when you go really deep, you can get a little, how do you say it? Nihilistic, um, about life and think that nothing matters. Um, I don't know. I feel like this pile is going to definitely have more, it's going to lean more towards that balance. But I think that maybe there will be periods where you fall into that because this is so deep, like I keep saying. But I don't know. I think it's also important to know that if you're being shown things that you haven't been shown before about, like, I guess, relationships with others or whatever, when you do go deep like this, that it's important to let those things fall away if they're not serving you. And that can also be a blessing because it allows you to keep moving forward and progress on your spiritual journey. Because the way things are going in the world right now, it's so important to continue to have an organic spiritual journey because our world is becoming increasingly more artificial. So yeah, it's important to keep your spiritual path as organic as you can because I believe there will come a time with technology um, accelerating at the rate it is that it won't be that way. So, if you catch my drift with that. But moving on to the next one. Um, Page of Pentacles and the Three of Wands. I like this. So one, we have the Page of Pentacles, and in one of my tarot books, the author says that the Page of Pentacles is one of the most spiritual cards because they're holding this pentacle. They're not even holding it. It's floating above them as they hold it. And what did I say about hovering with the High Priestess? It's like you're hovering. I'm thinking about the song Moonwalking in Calabasas by DDG. You see the pentacle like floating above his hands. In no other card do you see that. Moonwalking in Calabasas. It just gives me astral travel once again, traveling to different like places and that sort of thing. This could also be like you traveling to different places within your imagination as well. If you know esoteric spirituality, many traditions and spiritual teachers say that your imagination is more real than the world that we inhabit, the physical world, because this is where the physical world comes from. Everything is thought into existence. Everything was a thought before it became a thing. So, yeah, something about hovering, moonwalking. I don't think I'm just hearing like the end of like somebody hovering over you. So maybe this is the end. Like this was talking about the end of relationships. So it could be that for some of you, an end of a relationship that has caused you a lot of angst or something like that. Whether this is romantic, whether this is familial or platonic, you know, like a release. We have this bird here flying away. But again, like back to the whole Page of Pentacles being like really spiritual with the hovering and all of that, to get all of these like in an L here. Not that you're taking an L this year. But it's just very powerful to have all of these like together. And what I'm getting from this on top is like the moon. This is obviously at night. Moon comes out at night. And this depicts like the sun. And it's like the idea is like the blending of things. So it's like the Two of Wands talks about, planning. You're getting down to the problem. You're maybe strategizing with others, whatever. And the Three of Wands is more of the expansion of this. So you're tackling problems, you are expanding your horizons. And it's like the way this is depicted is like the sun expanding over the horizon. So you got this golden sunlight here. So going from dark to light. Um, so it's like a good portion of the year you're going deep, but you come out of it. And it's like I said, it's like you're not getting lost in it. You do end up coming up for air in the midst of it, but also like coming out of it here, because like these like spiritual pilgrimages, I guess you could say, don't last forever. The ones where you're going like really deep, because at the end of the day we do have to tend to everyday life. But um it's like coming out of that towards the end of the year. This could also be that you have news to share. The Page of Pentacles, the pages are messengers. It would be like a message of stability and expansion. Maybe this is you telling people like what you've been through in some type of way, whether this is you making content or I don't know, maybe you speak at a conference or something, or I don't know if this is just you telling other people in your life about what you've been through and being able to mentor them into other states. But I'm going to read the mentor as well. It says, "It is said that cosmic knowledge pours down on the world like a great illuminated waterfall. This can be an overwhelming force, The true teacher, though, is said to be able to hold this flow of wisdom at bay while the student slips from a focused stream. The mentor archetype has a gift for reading the room, for sensing the exact ingredient that will stimulate growth within the student, whether pleasant or painful. The mentor may appear aloof or unavailable, harsh or tender, humorous or rigid. Their gift is to know what serves the soul. Ultimately, the mentor is in service of the greater cosmic good and aids in the elevation of consciousness. Anytime the mentor forgets this humble link and mistakes themselves for the source of enlightenment, the archetype falls into the shadow. I'm hearing when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So maybe y'all will find like a guru or a teacher or something like that to help you continue on this spiritual path, on this foundation that you set throughout the year. Or maybe some of you are becoming the mentor yourself. I could see that as well. And it's like maybe starting a spiritual business. That could be the case. Um, you could be, again, maybe you just become like a mentor in the everyday. Because there are people out there who have such varied life experience and have such deep insight into life because they've been through so much that they become sort of a pillar of strength and like a guide, I guess you can say, to other people in their life. And honestly, like this person looks like they're at a guidepost, looking out onto the horizon, and it's like they're there for anybody who needs, help, you know. And in the sunlight, you can see them standing there like probably miles ahead because this land is pretty flat. It's giving like desert kind of. So yeah, and like this has the same color scheme as this here. This, I don't know if that's a nebula, but that's like the first thing that came to mind. I don't know why I'm hearing like the sense of a cosmic sun washing over you, whether this is our sun or because there are millions of suns or billions, I don't know how many, lots of suns within the universe. It's like all of this, all of these like light codes, this knowledge is being infused in you. And that's what the pinnacle floating above or, you know, being used in this type of way. Like I said, it could be content because of this deck, a lot of people making content about their stuff. But like that pinnacle floating, that's what that is. It's like the downloads you receive, the cosmic sun, the cosmic intelligence, all of that. Very powerful reading here, pile two. So on the backs of these cards, we have the Tower, Queen of Swords, Child Divine, and the Healer. What did I say about this color scheme? There it is again. But the tower typically talks about, things, illusions shattering, things falling away that no longer need to be there. So maybe that's what I was talking about in the beginning of the year, where it's like you're going from one spiritual extreme to the next, where you're seeing something shatter, something that, like I was saying, like could possibly be you're going from Christianity to paganism or Islam or whatever it is, some thing that you saw a certain type of way in the past shattering and it ultimately being a blessing. It could be, at first it could be difficult to go through this because this is something that you have known for so long, but I think that there's support there and there's like an internal strength there, especially with us going through the BS of 2020 and everybody has gone through something. So it's like a level of strength there to keep pushing through in 2026. And then with the Queen of Swords here, the Queen of Swords is honest. she's analytical and she's going to look at every which way of the problem, every which way of a situation. And it's like, I would think that the Queen of Swords could help welcome in the tower. Because, I mean, like, look at her. She's got her hand up, welcoming whatever it is, welcoming in the truth, you know, the clarity. Because her sword is upright, just like the Justice card. And not even the King of Swords, his sword is upright like that. So I feel like she would welcome. See, both are straight upright, while the King, his is slanted. So it's like the Queen of Swords, she don't play, you know? But yeah, more welcoming of this things falling apart. Again, it might not be always pleasant, especially with this moon card here, because that can get very wonky. But I think the High Priestess definitely supports that a lot. And the Hangman wants to have another perspective, you know, because we can't see his hands behind there. We don't know if they're tied, or if he's got his hands behind there because that's the most comfortable way to put his hands because of the position that he's in, you know. So there's that. Child divine. It says innocence, purity, and redemption suggest a special connection with the divine. Literally, that's what you're building this year. Like I was saying, these are both about spirituality, going from one spiritual extreme to another. But at the same time, they're all a part of the spectrum. They're all part of the spectrum, and all are illuminated by the divine. You know, we keep talking about illumination. Here that is again. Here that is again. Healing yourself this year through your own hand. Maybe this towards the end you have more like of a mentorship thing going on, but I do think for a lot of you the mentor is yourself. But I definitely think you will be aided, whether this is somebody on YouTube, somebody that you meet, I don't know, like just something more intimate, I guess you can say, than like I don't know, a conference. It just feels a little bit more intimate. But I don't know, a conference could be intimate as well, depending on who you meet there and how you interact with people. But definitely a large sense of healing this year for you. A large sense of spiritual healing that may be difficult at periods, but will be so worth it in the end. So, pile 2, this is what I got for you. If you watched to the very end, I really appreciate you. If you haven't already, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye. Hey, pile 3, and welcome to your reading. So for this one, we're looking at what blessings are in store for you in 2026. So let's go ahead and see. Spirit, what blessings are in store for pile 3 in 2026? What blessings are in store for pile 3 in 2026? First combo we've got is the Emperor and the Star. Okay, first of all, I think this has to do with healing your sense of boldness, I guess you can say. It feels like maybe in the past, maybe in 2025, like it feels like maybe your voice has been taken by something. Um, Maybe like you were silenced by somebody, silenced by something, felt that you couldn't speak up for yourself in some type of way. I'm being drawn to this megaphone that the emperor has, and how the emperor exudes power and exudes this sense of I've got everything under control. Nobody needs to worry about nothing type of energy. And to get that with the star, which comes after the tower, it's giving like healing that sense of boldness to me. Maybe 2025 or earlier or whatever was a year for you where you weren't as bold with your decisions, with your ways of being in the world, and maybe you just felt like kind of downtrodden, I'm hearing, I guess you can say. Um and felt like you had to, also hearing like, hide yourself away. So that could be the case for a lot of you, but it just feels like you're coming out with it in 2026 and showing people like where you've been. Maybe you've been in hibernation, working on something, working on yourself, something like that. But it just feels like you're going to pop out and take control of some type of situation, whether this is in your career, in your family life, or whatever, just I also feel like there's been a big healing process involved. And maybe it's like this healing process is like of what we're talking about is maybe coming to a close. So therefore you can go out and do whatever it is you want to do. And then with this seeker down here, it says thirst for wisdom and truth wherever they are. Maybe this is you going on a new type of journey. Interestingly, like you have these mountains in the back of the emperor, and he's kind of like not necessarily in the middle of them, but like it's kind of giving like the same thing. Like their head is like in between like these mountain ranges. Um so this could be it's like what I'm saying, like coming up for air. Like you're in between, like you were in the mountains, and it's like you're coming up for air in between the two mountains that you've been climbing, I guess you can say. Coming out to, I don't know, like I'm getting this analogy of like coming to like going out and seeking like water, and here's that water. Like if you're in the desert, I don't know, traversing like this person is, you're going to be looking, well, hopefully you have water on you, but like it's giving like looking for water, looking for the healing, looking to maybe integrate this healing that you have done, like I've been saying. And also maybe you are like looking for something. Maybe this is you're looking for a new job, maybe you're looking for a new partner, maybe you're looking for new friends or something. I feel like you're going on a journey for something here. Um and I guess like with this emperor symbolism here, in this specific deck, this is a director of a movie. And a movie is like it's typically a long production. So it's like this, it feels like a longer term project, something that you are walking through the desert, going through. Yeah, whatever that means for each of you. Then we have this Three of Wands in the Tower. In this specific depiction of the Three of Wands, we have three people. Um, Typically, it's just a person like with their back turned, like looking out onto the horizon. With this though, I do like this depiction because the definition kind of gives like working a plan that was put in motion. Um, because the Two of Wands, that's what that talks about, planning, strategizing, going over things, whatever. And Three of Wands would give, like each person having a part in that plan. Um, but with this Three of Wands here, clarified by the Tower, it does feel like an end or a something big happening with another person. And like it could be the end of a relationship, it could be like the end of a partnership, like where you're working together on something. But it definitely feels like some type of ending. Because in between this we have the Star and the Ace of Cups, and that's a new emotional experience. Um and this Six of Cups here depicts multiple people, so it could be that same situation where it's like um feeling renewed or something like that. But yeah, this Three of Wands with the Tower, definitely think again there's some type of ending with a person, and I feel like this person, this thing, whatever, has been draining you. And maybe this has been the case for a while, and maybe that's why the Tower is showing up, because it's finally like, okay, well, we need to take a look at this for real, because The tower comes when it's necessary for things to fall apart. And oftentimes we find that there is a blessing in the midst of this destruction of the tower, of these things falling apart. So I definitely think that could be the case here. But again, there's support for the tower here. Like, there's all the other cards within this spread are pretty good. And like the star, definitely, like I was saying, like this comes after the tower usually. So like, but even so, like with the tower coming after that, because it represents healing energy, I do think with it being next to it, it definitely is supportive of that. And I think it's also like you've gained the necessary strength to deal with the situation effectively. And maybe you deal with it more effectively than you would have in the past, you know? Because you have gone through this fortifying period, I guess you can say. Um and then with the emperor, it's like I was saying, like it's like you're realizing your power again, coming out with this power. And maybe you're also seeking power. Maybe seeking power over this situation, over this thing that has drained your energy. But with that emperor, I feel like it's the opposite energy to the tower because they're both Mars ruled cards, but the Emperor in a more constructive way and the Tower in a more destructive way. So it's like kind of, if you can catch what I'm saying here, it's like a balance coming in between these two with the star there. But for a lot of you, though, I really do feel like this destruction is a long time in the making and it was probably like due to happen. And I do think that like some balance will come to your life as a result of this. I really do, especially with this judge here right next to it. I mean, like the tower obviously is not the best card to get, but it's like when you have this vampire down here, it's like something needs to go, because you are being drained. It's like, what does the emperor do with something that is draining his energy? He gets rid of it because he got ish to do. You know what I mean? Like he got like realms to rule, he got laws to make, he got things to do, all of that, money to make, all of that. So like, it's like this thing, it needs to go in order for you to proceed on and keep elevating. I do think, though it may hurt, it may feel very destructive, whatever this is for you, I think that it will end up being a blessing in disguise. And I think that you'll realize that kind of quickly, to be honest with you. Pretty quickly, I think, definitely, because I don't know, like there's a lot of good cards in this spread. And like I said with the judge here, I keep thinking about the balancing scales that you see in the justice card in the tarot and how that can help to like balance things out when things are out of whack. So I think that's what's going on with this here. And like with the 6 of Cups, Ace of Cups, that creates the 7 of Cups. And the 7 of Cups is about illusions. And like literally that's what the tower talks about, is destroying illusions that once were. So I feel like this energy kind of carries over into the next part of the year where it's like you're letting this destruction, this necessary thing that happens, take root, and you are seeing through the illusion even further with this 7 of Cups energy. um with this judge here, it's like the justice card, or the justice system is about seeing both sides of a situation clearly. And it's like maybe you'll spend some time like weighing what happened and the cause and effect of it all and how you got to this place and all that. But I did say that I feel like you'll get over it quickly in terms of like your emotions, but like there's still going to be like a level of you thinking about it on a more intellectual level, is what it feels like to me. um the 6 of Cups, maybe, I think I already said, like, again, this feels like a long time coming, and the 6 of Cups talks about the past, so definitely something like that. But maybe also with this being here, this tower moment creates some type of new situation that has to do with your past, because the Ace of Cups itself talks about new emotional situations. I don't know if this is you like getting together with somebody from your past or doing something from your past, whatever, like something to do with the past. But yeah, it just definitely feels like something reigniting from the past, but also that whole clarity from the illusions. But also, if you look at the Tower and the Ace of Cups, they both have these what they call yads. I believe it's a Hebrew letter, if I'm not mistaken, that are raining down. That are raining down. And like the idea is that like there's still blessings from heaven, from God, from spirit, whatever, raining down in good and bad situations. So, or bad and good situations. But um that's what it feels like to me. Like you're letting like the blessings rain down on you. Um that could be another blessing in store, like knowing that you're blessed in between like the good, like within the good and the bad times also is what I'm getting. Again with this judge, the good, the bad, you know. But I'm also hearing that song, that Ashanti song, Rain on Me. It says, Rain on me, Lord, won't you take this pain from me? And I feel like that's what's going on like in the middle of the year here. It's like the like spirit, the universe like taking this pain from this and turning it into this and like showering you with blessings despite again the bad that may be going on with this tower, and blessing you with something new, because again that's what the Ace of Cups talks about, new emotional experiences. That's a great card, I feel like, to get right after getting the tower again. And I really think that has to do with you not necessarily harping too much on the emotional side of this and like really, I guess, just digesting it and moving forward, and like the universe really like aiding you in doing that. And I feel like maybe that's a big blessing as well, where it's like maybe in the past you would have stayed in this tower energy longer, but knowing that the support is there for you spiritually and knowing that you can move forward more quickly now into better times, I guess you can say. And also, the Seven of Cups talks about choice. So maybe this is you like making this like big choice to move forward, you know, instead of like wallowing in the illusion or um thinking about all the different options. That's also what it talks about, options, how it could have gone and whatever, but just choosing to move forward into this Ace of Cups energy. You know, like past, that's what you would have done. Moving forward, catch my drift. And here is that Seven of Cups. And I guess if you want to get like kind of technical, this one right here, it kind of looks like the tower, you know? And them, and it's interesting, like that's where their head is. But I feel like for you, it's not like you're not staying here, you know? You're moving past this like tower energy and, you know, just seeing through all of this, like the clouds moving. And I guess again, if you want to get technical, there's the cloud, there aren't any clouds in here. The clouds are like around the hand. So it's like the clouds moving away, you know, so you can see clearly. I'm gonna read from the guidebook on the judge and see what that has to say. So it says, the judge has an incredibly important job. They work every waking hour of every day, helping us discern what is safe, true, and just. When this archetype remains unconscious or is captivated by fear, wise discernment turns into painful judgment of self and other. Ironically, the judge's energy can be the seed of racism, bigotry, and fear mongering. This is the judge out of balance, building walls, separating from the other. When this same discerning force is made conscious and healed, however, the judge may be found advocating for civil rights causes, standing up for the underdog, providing resources for those in need, and forgiving again and again. Love is the deciding factor. Awakening this archetype is essential for the complex times we are in. Get your judge in order. The world needs it. It's interesting to me that the judge is right here next to this vampire in the tower, because I really do think that this situation, it needs to go. I know what the judge said, but I feel like it's you coming more into balance after this and you being able to be more, I guess, diplomatic because this situation is gone. I feel like this is a situation that has weighed you down a lot, has caused you pain, has caused you some sorrow, whatever. And it's just needing to be free of that in order to better discern in the future, if that makes sense. I feel like when we're in certain situations, it can cloud our judgment. And it's like this thing needs to be gone, this thing, this person, this whatever needs to be gone in order for us to see clearly again, going from the dark night to a better, brighter day. So yeah, I definitely think a certain leveling out is needed this year in order for you to again see clearly, in order for you to rebalance. And I do think you're up for the challenge. The first oracle we have here is Seeker, Seeker, seeing things clearly. You got this eye here, and it's the same color scheme as this cup here. This is an offering from the universe that new beginnings are possible. And it's like you taking this cup and being able to see clearer. And then, like, after this is over, dark light, energy, all of that, we're going into the Chariot and the Ten of Pentacles. I mean, like, this is a great combination because it's like you're going into this could be money, this could be some type of stability, this could be, I don't know, but better relationships with your family. The Ten of Pentacles for me is like extended family. So this could be, better relationships there. But the Chariot is all about forward movement, moving forward again into some stability of some sort. The typical Chariot also depicts two sphinxes next to the Chariot. And I only mention that I know I'm trying to use the symbolism in the decks that I'm using because I have so many, but I have to mention it because of the whole light dark thing that I talked about, because it's present in that as well. And the idea is when you are balanced fully, you can, you know, move forward. You can direct your will in whatever way that you see fit. So as you can see, light, dark, and even it's in the same order, light, dark, and the Chariot doesn't even have his reins on, the sphinxes because he's using his willpower to move it forward. And then even if you want to talk about the two dog like things, the sphinxes, we got two dogs here. So maybe there's something about animals for you here as well. The Chariot can be represented by Cancer, and Cancer is all about the home and what do you keep at home? Pets. So I could see that. And then we have Healer here. Maybe a lot of you are getting pets, or there's some significant milestone with pets. I don't know. Take that how it resonates. Won't obviously be for everybody, but I definitely think there's something to do with family because pets, are family as well. So I think this year, because you've had to balance things out and heal a lot, like I said with the star, this talks about healing, and then you got it here. So it's like the whole year, like with this in the middle. A lot of healing taking place this year. I do think that like a lot of you will take that seriously, and that is why this Chariot and Ten of Pentacles is showing up. It's like really getting serious and getting to the bottom of things, and seeing how best to balance yourself to get to the level of security that you want, whether this is financial, whether this is, relational, all that type of stuff. Like this just feels like going towards something that you really want. I could also see this as some type of big purchase as well, because the Chariot here in this tarot, this is the Tinseltown tarot. This is a movie star like pulling up to a movie premiere in a nice vintage car. Um, and then the Ten of Pentacles, that's large purchases, that type of thing. It can be. So definitely could see that for some of y'all as well. Like a large purchase towards the end of the year. But the healer, I'm gonna go ahead and read that from the guidebook. It says, though some claim the work of the healer as their gift and name it as their dharma, the force of this archetype is within everyone. It is our natural inclination to remember, to return to, and to reclaim that central and eternal life force from which we so easily drift away. In Sanskrit, the word avidya, means forgetting, and it's said that this is the source of all suffering and disease. The healer's mission then becomes to move through the comfort of forgetting, through the veils of ignorance and denial to reveal the radiance that already exists. The healer approaches this in multiple ways from multiple angles, knowing the cycle of healing is not linear, it is a multi-layered and circuitous process, always leading back to its own origin, much like the Ouroboros. Again, like this says, like healing is cyclical and not linear. You got the star, meaning healing, at the beginning of the year, and at the end, meaning like a cycle, like this Ouroboros here. And I think like just during this year, healing is going to show up for you in multiple ways. And like, I don't know, kind of like peek up from behind the mountains, like I was saying with this. And, the head like peeking out of the mountains, like you'll come up for air and maybe not do any healing for a while, but then you'll go back down into the mountain and, you're going back to work, like as situations come up. But like I said, like not staying in that down emotional energy maybe as long as you would have in the past, and just letting those healing waves wash over you in waves. No pun intended. But I definitely think there's a lot of healing in store for this pile this year, and I don't know, a lot of good things as well. This is a great spread other than the tower. But sometimes those tower moments have to happen in order for us to, move forward. So on the backs of the decks, we have the Three of Cups, Five of Wands, the Lovers, well, the Lover card, and Apocalypsis. Yeah. So with the Three of Cups, I think this will be a year that you'll have a pretty great social life despite all this that's going on. And it's really not even all this. It's just, this. But definitely think you'll be out there with other people, enjoying yourself. Really, that's what the Three of Cups talks about. It depicts these people, swimming here. So maybe you could be swimming because we have this star here. Maybe going to the beach, going to the pool when it's warm, whatever. But just enjoying the time spent with others. Definitely think that'll be a big theme for you guys this year. And that goes along with what I'm saying about like going through like the healing periods, maybe needing to, get away from the world for a little bit to heal, but then going right back out there and living your life, having fun, whatever. Five of Wands. This depicts competition, competing with others for something. So maybe this could be like fun competition. If you want to add these two together, this could be, I don't know, you joining a sports team or having healthy debates with others, or I don't know, just like something enjoyable to you, but in a more competitive sense. That could be the case for some of you. But also this could be like climbing the ladder in some instances. So this could be climbing the social ladder. Maybe some of you are meeting some people that'll change your life in some type of way. Maybe that's why we got this Ace of Cups here. But also it could be like networking. You're climbing the ladder in that type of way that helps you climb the ladder at work or something. Help you to sign a new contract or whatever the case may be. Could definitely see that for others of you. Depends on who's watching, but I see you moving up in the world in some respect that has to do with other people. Then we have lover. And this is great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. This could definitely be a new relationship. I'm kind of looking at this right here. This Ace of Cups, how I was talking about that being new emotional experiences. This could be something from your past for some of you, like I said. Maybe you're rekindling a love from the past. Or if you're already in a relationship, like rekindling the love that you had like when you first started dating or when you first got together, when you first met, something like that, or going for something that you really love in terms of a passion or a job or whatever. This definitely goes along with that emperor energy, like where you're popping out and you're ready to take control of something. You're ready to like take control of your life and go for something that you love. Like I'm just hearing like life is short and I need to do what I love. That type of thing. And then apocalypsis, I'm going to read this from the guidebook. This says, apocalypsis indicates a particularly painful time, one that unfolds when two disparate dynamics occur simultaneously, pulling the psyche in seemingly opposite directions. The first is a lifting of the veil. This means truth that have been kept in the dark are revealed, seen, and unearthed. No matter how relieving it is to witness them come into light, an element of despair and grief follows. The second dynamic is the regeneration that comes from the wreckage of the revealed truths. The old narrative breaks and a new story forms. Apocalypsis energy is similar to that of forest fires, devastation for the sake of regeneration. The veil lifts, and we see who and what has been hiding. From the nakedness of the truth, a child is born. Have faith in the process, hold on to your center. That is the only way. Literally, what did I say about this? About, going through the darkness, how that like destroys illusions and you come out and see the new day after that is done, and how it's like you are being regenerated, how the universe is helping you, like with those yads that I talked about, and then like the light and the dark, the judge, like the balancing of that is literally what this card talks about. And it says like devastation for the sake of regeneration. I really think that that's what's going on here. Like again, like we had this breaking of the illusions. And then, like I said, with the Six of Cups and the Ace of Cups creating the Seven of Cups, that's a further um destroying of the illusion and letting that regeneration energy like fill you, like as you get farther away from this tower moment, like balancing things out. I think that'll be a big theme this year. I think whatever this is going to be big for a lot of you. And whatever comes from this wreckage will be something that you never thought possible, something that you didn't see coming, something that maybe something that you love comes from it. Maybe this is a new relationship, a new something, new emotional experience, just something good coming out of this, even though it may be very painful. So pile 3, that's what I got for you. Blessings in store for you in 2026. We got a lot going on here in a good way, I think. Sometimes we need those towers to fall to see what really is the path forward. So yeah, if you watched to the very end, I really appreciate you. If you haven't already, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see y'all in the next video. Thank you again for watching. Bye. Hey, Pile 4, and welcome to your reading. So we're looking at what blessings are in store for you in 2026. So let's go ahead and see. So Spirit, what blessings are in store for Pile 4 in 2026? All right, so first combo we have here is the Two of Cups and the Five of Swords. Interesting first combo. Two of Cups, this talks about, this could be love relationships, could be a great friendship, this could be you in, I guess you could say, in love with the self, not necessarily like in a narcissistic way, but like, you like parts of yourself are complementary and you've brought them two together, blended the two together successfully. But for a lot of you, I feel like this is like a love relationship or like a just a close relationship that is prominent for you this year, and will show itself at the beginning of the year, not necessarily like right now, but like in the first quarter. Like I'm kind of reading this by quarter. um yeah, just definitely a love relationship of some sort. I keep saying love, but like, you know what I mean, like friendship, or this could be love, for whoever is watching. If you're not looking for love, maybe it's a friendship, that sort of thing. Could even be a pet, like two peas in a pod type of pet relationship. But with the Five of Swords clarifying that, it's really interesting. It's like, because this is blessings coming in, what I'm feeling like is like it's like a period where you have put the sword down. Like, if you can see like this card here, this card talks about fighting. But if you look, like, these people aren't exactly fighting. Like, this person has taken all the swords and it's like he's won. These other people are walking away. It's like, I feel like maybe maybe you're the one who's taking the swords, I don't know. But or you could be the people who are, walking away from the fight. Not necessarily in tears or anything, but it just feels like an end to the fight. Maybe you have, like, maybe some of you have broken up with a partner recently, and you're entering a new era where you're more harmonious with someone, something like that. Or maybe this is refusing to fight with somebody for others of you. Like, maybe you have a situation, a close relationship where y'all like kind of get into it. Not saying that like in an abusive way. But if it is an abusive way, then you should definitely walk away from that situation if you can. But I'm saying like an end to like just quarrels. I'm hearing like small arguments, little petty things, like an end to that, in whatever way that looks like for you. Whether this is walking away from somebody, whether this is you're coming into a new era in an already existing relationship, whether this is something new that is being brought into your life. um Whatever it is, it's just a period with less strife. um this pioneer here says passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. And the shadow is compulsive need to keep moving on. um I think it's definitely the pioneer light attribute for a lot of you. Maybe you have not experienced this energy before for some of you, or maybe you have not experienced this energy in a long time. And it's like this light bulb here is like igniting and like creating some type of spark here with whatever this Two of Cups energy is for you. But also, like pioneer is newness. So I really feel like for the bulk of you, this will be something, a relationship that's brand new. But again, like, it doesn't have to be. It could be an existing relationship that gets better to a point that you've never seen before as well. Again, I have to tell you what I'm seeing. This is general reading, so trying to give options for everybody. But we have this Two of Cups here and the Seven of Cups that can cross to create the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups, we got two nines here. Actually, we have three nines. But this Two of Cups, Seven of Cups, creating the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is about accomplishment. You can see all these, what is it? Cups giving like trophies that this person has above their head. And they look very proud at what they've been able to accomplish. And that with this Eight of Pentacles here, it feels like as we move forward into the year, it's like coming to a place where, again, it feels like this pioneer energy. It feels new. It feels like you're proud of yourself for where you've been able to get with this relationship, this love thing that is in your life. And also, like, the thing with this card is these um trophies, these cups, whatever, are perched up very high, and underneath this, whatever you call it, a curtain, canopy, you can't really see what's underneath it. So you can't really see how this person, I guess, has gotten there. And maybe there is some type of, I don't know, some type of secretive energy because they got their arms crossed, but their legs parted. It's like kind of keeping under wraps how you got to where you are, I guess you can say. Um, and that's interesting because of the Seven of Cups, and the Seven of Cups can talk about secrets, illusions, whatever. But I don't see this in like a negative way. It's more so like I feel like a lot of you keeping things to yourself, like keeping this good thing that's coming into your life to yourself because you have worked so hard to get there. The Eight of Cups, well, Eight of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles, this talks about mastery, and this could talk about routines. This could talk about, self-reliance and all those sort of things. So it just feels like it's not like you've just been handed all of these cups within the Nine of Cups. It's not like you're just being, well, maybe some of them have been handed to you given this symbolism here, but it's not like all of them have been handed to you. It's like you've had to work for it. And the going wasn't always, easy. It wasn't always good. So it's like feeling deserving of this thing that is bestowed upon you. Again, the Seven of Cups, I don't know if I did mention this, but Seven of Cups is about choice. And you can see like this woman being offered all these drinks by what seems to be like waiters at like a fancy party or something. And then that paired with the Eight of Pentacles, it feels like maybe you'll be getting out there going to fancy parties for some of you, because we have this hedonist at the bottom, and this says inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life, celebrates the beauty in yourself, and she has her pick of all these fruits down here. So I feel like it's like you having your way with something because you have worked hard. This could also be a lot of financial abundance. I think this pile, like overall, there's a lot of material abundance in store for you for this year. Whereas the other piles, it was a bit more spiritual. But this feels, I mean, I'm sure there's some spiritual things, especially when we get over here, when I interpret those, but it feels very physical and like enjoying the good side of life. Again, because you've worked hard to get there. But I think there's also something in the middle, towards the middle of the year, about accolades, because again, we have these up here, like, and like this creating, I'm using this as a reference so you can see it, so I don't have to like dig for it or anything, but in the other deck, but these, but then like you kind of have the same thing going on over here. So I definitely feel like a lot of you will be recognized for something towards the middle of the year. I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is work related or if this is, I don't know, this could even be people commenting on, I don't know, like maybe you, I don't know, travel more this year, or maybe you're taking better care of yourself this year. Because I was saying that this could be a better relationship with yourself, taking better care of yourself, and people notice and they're like, oh, well, shoot, like you really like doing the thing. And those are like compliments could be the things that you're racking up, for some of you. But again, like, because this is the Eight of Pentacles that we're talking about and the Nine of Cups, these are higher cards in the suit, denoting something a little bigger. So I'm just trying to give you options again for different people who may be watching this, but could be compliments. It could be a raise at work, could be a promotion at work, could be you getting, I don't know, a new car, something that you want. It seems like it's coming to fruition. So, and something that helps you to explore the beauty in life further. And it does just feel like some of you are, going out, trying restaurants, eating out. I don't know, just things like that have to do with, I don't know, maybe nightlife, maybe dinner parties, things like that sort of thing. But also just like not necessarily like all the time, but like, you know, you have that balance between having your fun, having like the beauty in life, all of that, but also working hard. So next we have the Seven of Swords and the King of Pentacles. Um, Seven of Swords, this can talk about deception, theft, trickery, those sort of things. But in this card, it's like he's carrying these swords from here to wherever, I don't know. But with the King of Pentacles on top, this feels like you are like running away with riches. Like not necessarily in like a, oh, I took this from somebody and now it's mine type of thing, but in terms of like a metaphorically speaking, like you're running away with riches. I'm not necessarily taking the deception or whatever literally here. I don't know, for some reason there, like I'm hearing honesty. There's something about honesty here. Um and getting to a high place by being honest. But also we have this we have two sevens here. That's news. So maybe this is news of financial gain. I do think that is going to be the case for a lot of you. Um Two, I said this is two sevens is news, but if we add this eight of Pentacles and this King of Pentacles together, this creates the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles, that's a wealthy woman who has, leisure at her disposal. She has all the fancy things in life because she's gotten to a place where she can enjoy those things. She's in her garden doing falconry, which is like a sport. I'm sure people still do it, but it was a popular sport for like rich people in the past. But again, like because this Nine of Pentacles is made up of this Eight of Pentacles and this King of Pentacles, I feel like you've done the work to get there. You've done the work. And now it's like you're being recognized heavily for something. This really could be financial like windfall for some of you, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. This could be, I don't know, it could be buying a house. It could be, a more expensive purchase. I don't know why dryer washing machine just came into my head, but maybe some of you are buying that because maybe you live in the city and you don't have, um, I guess the luxury of having an in apartment, in condo, whatever, washer dryer. I know that's like a big thing in New York City. So it's like maybe that's the big purchase. And it's like it feels really good to have that because you don't have to go out to the laundromat anymore. Could be something like as small as that, but something that feels big to you, like a big purchase to you that creates a difference in your life in terms of, again, like the beauty that you're able to see in life. Because I mean, I would have like if still using that New York City washer dryer example. I've never lived in New York City, but I can imagine that it takes up a lot of your time to, take your clothes to the laundromat. I don't know how people do that. I don't know if they Uber there, if they take that shit on the train or what, or maybe just walk to a place that's like, I don't know, down the street or they have a cart or something. But it takes up a lot of time. Like granted, you can put your clothes in multiple washing machines or multiple dryers and get done a little faster, but the act of having to go outside your home to do it is kind of a pain. So I could see that as being something that's very Nine of Pentacles like because it allows you to have more ease in your life, like the woman in the picture. In the card. She has a lot of ease. So I also feel like with these two sevens, some type of illusion is lifting for you. Because Seven of Cups talks about illusions, and then the Seven of Swords can also talk about strategizing and taking the fight out of a situation. And that's why he would be taking the swords. And to go from the cups to the swords, it's like coming down from the clouds and into more of a concrete image in your mind, I guess you can say, because the sword suit does talk about the mind and communication and things like that. So maybe clearer communication. This could have to do with um this love energy that I was talking about as well. Maybe this is clearer communication with that person or with yourself or whatever, just getting clear about what you want. And maybe this is also a result of getting what you want. So it's like a like attracting like type of energy where it's like, okay, I was able to get this, and now, okay, I'm confident about that. And now I can go be confident about something else that I want, if that makes sense. Then we have this eternal child. I'm going to read this from the guidebook. This says, the eternal child is connected to the timeless, ageless, and infinite aspects of life. It is radiant and fearless and seeks joy above all else and at any cost. It struggles being bound to an aging body with physical limitations in a world that demands attention to detail and logistics. The eternal child wants to nix all rules and responsibilities and go beyond what others say is possible. It wants to return, with plenty of friends, to the land of the free, where divine wine and creativity pour from the earth and sky. We all want to sip from the well of eternal youth, and this makes the eternal child naturally popular, perhaps even famous. The eternal child glimmers. It reminds us of what is possible, what is magic, and what is magical about this precious life. Well, that's a nice card to get. This, I feel like this goes along with this energy here. Like this is carrying over, like, this sense of freedom, this sense of fun, this sense of, not necessarily like getting rid of all the rules, but maybe bending them a little bit. And maybe like, I feel like the Seven of Swords energy is a bit rigid as well. And then the King of Pentacles, I feel like, is a little less rigid than the Seven of Swords. I feel like he's rigid because it's like this plan needs to go as I say it goes. Because there's very little room for error, I guess, if you want to talk about this specific situation depicted in the card. Like somebody could find out, somebody could, come and see me, whatever. So yeah, it's just giving rigid energy. But I feel like the King of Pentacles, because he's the King of Pentacles, is a lot less rigid than that. That energy there. He can really do what he wants to do because he's the King of Pentacles. He has all the money, all the resources. He got time too, because the grapes that are on his tunic here, they represent like the winemaking process and how that takes a long time for, that to happen. I don't really know how long that process is, but it takes a while. And, it meaning that it takes a while to get to the King of Pentacles level where you're surrounded by lushness, where you're surrounded by excess, where you're surrounded by wealth. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's like bending the rules, like I was saying, and stepping more into this King of Pentacles energy, this Nine of Pentacles energy, where you're flowing free, where you've got, like, even with the outfits, I keep showing y'all this, but it keeps the symbolism keeps kind of hitting me. Even the King of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles woman, they have these flowing robes, which to me here is representing like going with the flow of life and going with the flow of whatever it makes you happy, whatever makes whatever is pleasurable to you, that sort of thing. But I guess like the warning here is not to get caught too much up in that this year, because I really think that like there's big blessings in store for you in terms of the material world, like I said, but don't fall into, I guess, the illusions and the rigidity of life. Also, like, since the Seven of Swords is about taking, don't fall into like taking too much, because then you can go into this shadow energy where it says pursues pleasures to the detriment of health, indulges at the expense of others. I feel like a lot of you won't get there, but there's so much good energy here in this spread that it could like teeter on that. Like, for example, you could, I don't know, indulge too much in a certain type of food and maybe gain 5, 10 pounds when you didn't want to do that. Or maybe you spent too much money and you didn't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like that sort of thing. Or you get that new big job or that raise, or I don't know, you get extra income from a side hustle or making content or something. And you start like upping your lifestyle because you start seeing that new check. And, you know, you told yourself, oh, I'm not going to be like these influencers. I'm not going to go crazy. But then you get a taste of that and you're like, that's kind of nice. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's just a little bit of a warning, I guess. But then finally we have Five of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups. Five of Pentacles, this talks about being left out of something. Like in this particular description, this particular depiction. I suppose like this is the Tinseltown Tarot. So this woman is outside of a theater and maybe like the show has started without her and she can't get in, so she's leaving. But feeling left out of something. Maybe this is like leaving yourself out of certain situations in order to accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish this year. Because I mean, they do say that we have to, sacrifice to get to where we want to be in some sort of way. It can't all be sunshines and rainbows, all year long. So it definitely feels like leaving yourself out of some things this year in order to get to where you want to be. But I don't think it's like to the point where you seclude yourself to the point where it's like detrimental. But I think it's more of I need to do this in order to get to where I want to be. But then if you want to cross these, the King of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles, that creates the Six of Pentacles. And I don't know, I like that for this description because Six of Pentacles talks about leveling things out. So I feel like maybe this is you working hard on something all year, whatever this is, but still having time for others amidst this, and still having some sort of balance when it comes to that. But again, it's like secluding yourself to get to where you want to be. And we have, let's see, Two of Cups and Seven of Cups. That's Nine of Cups. Eight of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. That's a Nine of Pentacles. And then this Nine of Cups here. And then 3 nines, that equals success. So, I mean, I feel like success is pretty much guaranteed for y'all this year in some arena. Like I said, a 9, and then the 9, and then this has to do with a success that has to do with 5 of Swords and the 5 of Pentacles. So that 2 5s, that's a vigil. So like success that has to do with, it feels like, it doesn't feel like a death, like a physical death or anything like that, but it feels like a part of you dies in the process of your success, but in like a good way, in terms of like transforming yourself into something that maybe you've always wanted to be, if that makes sense. And that kind of goes with this pioneer energy that I was talking about earlier, where you're doing something or being something new. And that's what that feels like, putting some part of yourself to rest so this other part of yourself can be born. And I mean, we have these children cards here. So child, born, that sort of thing. But again, I feel like going back to this right here, this is more success in the end of the year. For sure, like to finish something off. Maybe for some of you, it's not necessarily all that great of a thing that you have to separate yourself from others because like you've had such a good year, maybe you've really enjoyed like this energy here, whatever, this energy. And it feels like the rug being pulled out from under your feet to have to seclude yourself to accomplish something else, to create this 3 nines equaling success over the course of the year. I don't know, but I feel like it'll be worth it for the majority of you guys. And that King of Pentacles really helps to balance that out. Um, Not just because of the balancing scales, but because, I mean, the King of Pentacles can offer money, resources, or whatever to this person in the Five of Pentacles. You know, like I feel like the King of Pentacles has the power to be like, can y'all like open this theater? You know, it's a person of high regard, of high, high wealth, that sort of thing. So it feels like carrying that part of yourself, that King of Pentacles part of yourself, into the latter part of the year and helping to balance yourself out. Or maybe for some of you, this King of Pentacles also could be like an actual person, somebody with money, resources, a network, something that can help your status ascend in some type of way, who kind of helps you to level things out towards the end of the year. Because again, Six of Pentacles here, we have somebody helping other people, bestowing money onto others, but it doesn't necessarily have to be money. Could be anything, really. Could be food for all we know. I don't know. Depends on who's watching this. But I'm gonna read the orphan from the guidebook as well. Interestingly, it comes right after the eternal child in the guidebook. It says, to study the orphan is to study the deep and challenging energy of our time. We are ever more connected, yet face collective isolation. The refugee crisis haunts our planet. Children are separated from parents, and the earth begs for our attention. We are in a time of universal orphanage, of nature, of each other, of our own hearts. Take refuge in the fact that we all share this core wound and dilemma. It is normal to fear this card as it haunts the caverns of the soul. When it appears, take time, real time, to be in the presence of the feelings that this card stirs in you. Let it humble you. What are you starving for? What is the deepest gift you could imagine giving to others? What has been rejected is quite possibly what is most needed, dear one. Interesting that this talks about, like a give and take sort of energy. When I was literally just talking about the Six of Pentacles here. But like maybe given that description, maybe for some of you, this is you needing to, maybe this is you being the people down here getting bestowed upon you probably by this King of Pentacles, by somebody with more resources than you in some type of way. I could see that as well. But it's like, also, if that's the case, like, because things were so good in the beginning of the year, I feel like there needs to be some type of balance. And it's also like what I talked about with the 3 9s equaling success and the other 2 cards being the 2 5s with the vigil. It feels like there's like it feels like a balance, because it can't be all sunshine and rainbows. So it's like, maybe not saying like you deserve like that energy to be out like begging people for anything or anything like that. Life is a give and take. So it's like sometimes, maybe like throughout the year, for some of you, you'll be the one also bestowing people with things before you get to this end part of the year where it's like you have all this abundance that you're sharing it with others, sort of thing. And like maybe it's your time to receive at the end of the year. That could be the case. But also maybe there's an energy here of solitude. And that's also kind of balancing things out, because this 5 of Pentacles person is by themselves, you know. So that could be the case as well. But also, like I keep saying, like the two sides, like this is the complete opposite of this. So like things are cyclical, just like this. This, I believe that's an Ouroboros there, a version of it, I guess. If you don't know what that is, like the snake eating its tail, signifying like the endless cycle of death and rebirth type of thing. But I don't know, like it just doesn't feel necessarily all that bad to me, especially with this Nine of Cups energy. But also, like I talked about, maybe there's something here hidden towards the end of the year that needs to come up, because I talked about how there's something hidden beneath this curtain, beneath all the success. So maybe this is needing to go within a little bit here and kind of assess where you're at. Maybe this is kind of a lost energy towards the end of the year. I could feel that for some of you, because an orphan is lost sometimes from their home, from their parents, whatever. And then with this person out on their own, maybe there's something hidden there that needs to be dealt with. Maybe it is a loss as well. But again, it's like most of the year it feels like such a big blessing. Not that things are coming due or anything like that, but it feels like a dark spot, like a dark cloud in an otherwise sunny day, if that makes sense. Because I'm kind of seeing this as like eternal sun energy, and then we have this light source here. We have a lot of yellow here, lots of positive energy, but some darkness towards the end of the year. So I would be mindful of that. But again, we have this balancing scale, so I feel like things will balance out. Let's look at the backs. So we have 6 of Swords. We have the 4 of Swords. We have the Scribe. And we have the Starborn. So 6 of Swords, 4 of Swords, that can equal the 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords is like a breakdown. It could be exhaustion. It could be something like that. I feel like this energy this year does feel like going. Like you're doing so much, you're seeing so much, you're accomplishing so much that maybe you will be exhausted this year because of all the good things. It gives that vacation energy, where like you go on vacation and you trying to like fit so much into your vacation that you end up real tired, and like you get home and you're like, damn, did I even just go on vacation? Because I'm kind of tired. So it feels like that. But the 6 of Swords, I can talk about moving away from something. I feel like maybe for some of you, you've had a hard 2025. I could definitely see that. But also this could be moving away from things that just didn't serve you, or taking the initiative throughout the year to move away from things that don't serve you anymore. And maybe meditating on that. That's what the 4 of Swords can talk about, like meditation, like taking a break from things. Kind of goes with what I was saying about like maybe needing to separate from the pack to make something happen. And I just will say that like this 5 of Pentacles energy, this orphan energy, this could be really hard for some of you towards the end of the year. So it could have you end up feeling like this, maybe betrayed or something like that. This could also talk about betrayal. So maybe you feel betrayed by somebody. I'm hearing like the cost of success. So maybe like, I don't know, if just an example, you go into business with somebody and they betray you or something like that, and like you're feeling like an orphan because things didn't work out how you wanted it to. And that could be what that energy signifies for some of you, just an example. But then we have Scribe. This says preserving knowledge and information. I think this is a year where you will want to preserve what has happened. Maybe this is you taking a lot of pictures. Maybe this is like starting a scrapbook. Maybe this is, I don't know, starting a old school style blog or something. Like just documenting what you've been through, because I feel like this year is going to be very action packed for you. Yeah, just preserving something. And maybe this is journaling as well, like journaling about like what you've been through, that sort of thing. This could be creative writing. Maybe you're writing articles about your travel. Like there's like so many things this could be. Maybe you're making, I don't know, vlogs or something, just commemorating the things that you've gone through. And then we have the Starborn. Lots of child energy here. So maybe, I don't know, some of you could be around children a lot this year. Maybe you work with children. Maybe you're having children. Literally, like I said, this comes after this in the guidebook. The orphan comes after the eternal child, but the Starborn is first. It's like, that's kind of crazy. Like the trinity of children here, because first is the mother, the father, and then Starborn, eternal child, orphan. Definitely feeling some like child energy for you. Like if you want to have kids, I feel like this is a good year for it. Something about children here for some of you. But let's go ahead and read this as well. This says, an elusive yet radiant aspect of the self, the starborn archetype points to the cosmic spark of light that arrives with each being at birth. The moment the newborn crowns, whether vaginally or surgically, the royal stars above are said to constellate in a unique shape that maps our path in the world. The idea of destiny is controversial, yet the starborn naturally feels a sense of destination and purpose, aiming itself toward a future that is beyond the mundane. When this card appears, travel back to your birth story for clues and insight. What did you desire when you were young? Practice seeing your life from a mythic point of view rather than as a series of logistics. Read the story of the three fates and envision yourself born under the stars with a unique destiny. Wow. It's like you're cycling through all these childlike states this year. And maybe it talks about being reborn. Like I talked about this Ouroboros here multiple times throughout the year, possibly, but more so towards the end. But also, it's like it says, feeling a sense of destination and purpose and aiming yourself towards a future that is beyond the mundane. And that's what this pioneer energy was giving me. And this is coming out first. I feel like for some of you, you could be accomplishing something, that you really wanted to accomplish when you were like a young child. Like maybe I'm thinking about like somebody who wanted to be a doctor when they were 5. And like this year, they're finally graduating from medical school. Like that sort of like huge milestone. But also like maybe like this is interesting because I'm seeing like going back and preserving the year. And I feel like when you do that sort of thing, like when you're chronicling something and you're I don't know, documenting something, there's like a remembrance process that goes along with that, like as you do the thing. So it's like maybe you will spend a lot of time this year thinking back on how much your life has changed, how much you have brought into fruition that maybe that you never thought that you could. Maybe you thought it would take longer, maybe for some of you than it did. But this definitely just feels like being in perfect alignment. But also maybe some of you will get into more mystic topics. This is giving me like getting more into astrology, getting maybe more into your birth chart and learning more about yourself in that type of way. This feels like maybe some type of deeper spiritual point in the year. Definitely feeling like it's maybe towards this end of the year here. Because I was talking about this could be a dark period for some of you. So maybe there is a sense of connectedness, even though, like, despite that, with this Starborn card. But pile 4, this is a great reading. If this resonated with you, I'd really love to hear from you in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see y'all in the next video. Thank you again for watching. Bye.